This is a very controversial subject. It would really help if you view my videos number 72 and 73 before this video. Quick summary of video 73. God used men to put words in writing throughout history exactly the way he wanted them to put them in writing. Video number 72. We know that God can speak multiple languages. He can speak English. The words of God are in English. Are God's words perfectly preserved without error in English, in the English Bible? Well, no, according to the vast majority of seminaries, Bible colleges, and the educated throughout the United States. And the vast majority of lay people believe the same thing. Now, I believe totally in freedom of religion, and they can believe anything they want. But the problem is they're going against what God says. God says he preserved his words, and they're pure. Matthew 24:35 says, "Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away." Proverbs 30 verse 5. Every word of God is pure. Also, other verses to see are Isaiah 40 verse 8, Isaiah 30 verse 8, Isaiah 59 verse 21, and 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 23. There's other verses, but I don't have time to go over them. Bottom line, men say God dropped the ball on the English Bible. God says he didn't drop the ball. So what do we believe? Romans chapter 3:4 is a good place to start. Let God be true, but every man a liar. My go-to verse is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 5, which says that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God. Our God has awesome power. Just think of the galaxies, the thousands, whatever, maybe millions of galaxies that were created with trillions of stars, that kind of power. Does God have the power to preserve words on paper through man? Yes. When I come to the Bible, my attitude is, I just believe it all. Now, I know I only know in part, but I believe everything I read. And that was Paul's attitude. At Acts chapter 24, verse 14, he says, believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets. Even Jesus berated two men at Luke chapter 24, verse 25, when he said, "O fools, and slow of heart to believe all that the prophets have spoken." If somebody takes the position that God dropped the ball, didn't preserve his words, and there's errors in the English Bible, he's actually taken the position that God is a liar, because God tells us that he preserved his words, and every word is pure. How much will God reveal and show somebody like that with that position? I don't know. I'm not God. But I know Bible believers without 1 minute of formal, any kind of seminary or Bible college education, that know more than your typical seminary graduate. They know more because they just believe it, and God shows them more. Take a look at 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 27. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to pick up my Bible and I'm going to tell God I believe everything in it. What's going to be your attitude?